Hi there, it's Maria Luz of Modus Novus Astro Hypnosis and Maria Luz Online. I'm here with the Astro Energy Report for Friday, May 17th. So overnight tonight on Friday, Venus makes this kind of cute conjunction with Uranus. And because it happens overnight, it's almost like a teenage person like sneaking out of the house to meet up with like the rebel. Um, and so her parents won't know about it. It sounded kind of like that to me. And but there's still this theme of healing going on. And part of it might be because, that Venus always wants to look perfect and harmonious. And so it's kind of the sneaking away with the thing that's can be like kind of traumatic or surprising. Uranus has that reputation. But what they're doing is they're in this triangle, a big triangle with the planet Ceres, which is about like nurturing and self-nurturing. And that's in the sign of Capricorn. Um, and also on the other side of the triangle, there's the moon and Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. And so the moon at this point will be moving into this waxing gibbous, which is about analysis and fine tuning and introspection, which are all these Virgoan activities. However, because the moon is right there with Black Moon Lilith, I think there's also this mining of what have we relegated to the shadow. And so there's kind of this introspection about what is maybe that rebel part of us or that traumatic part of us on the inside, and then going to meet that in the other as well, with Venus making that conjunction to Uranus. So a lot kind of happening there. But if you want to learn more about that, go check out some of my podcast episodes about Venus and also some of this healing that's going on. And I'm doing an episode on Ceres next week. So more good stuff there. The next thing that I think you've probably heard about is on Saturday, early in the morning, like right at dawn, which is appropriate, Jupiter goes into the heart of the sun, which is called a cazimi. And Venus is still in that conjunction with Uranus. So we've still got that intensity happening. We've still got Venus as the ruler over the sun, and this Jupiter joining the sun kind of at the very end of Taurus. So Venus is still presiding over all of this energy. And again, when we think about Taurus, it's that stability and security. It's things to do with resources. So it's also what we value, anything to do with Venus is around that and how we relate to people and things. And so if you kind of wrap all that together, I'm thinking about this kind of love of the quirkiness, whether it's in yourself or other people, or just maybe those quirky hobbies that you like, or quirky art that you like. Maybe it's because also Taurus is to do with nature. It might be combining that with Jupiter and the sun. Jupiter is about beliefs and your ethics. So kind of how do you ground yourself in your beliefs and ethics in your purest self, which is like your sun, and being in nature in Taurus. So how do you combine all of those things? And we have that energy really, it leads up to it, but because that conjunction happens right in the morning, it just seems like a lot of astrologers are choosing that day for you to do something really cool. So Saturday seems really really beneficial for you to choose from a plethora of themes there around healing and around quirkiness, around nature, around being with the other. And we still have Mars in Aries, so there's a lot of drive. There's a lot of kind of baseline energy as well. Now, the other thing that's happening starting on Monday, the sun enters the sign of Gemini, and that'll bring a different energy to us. And not only that, but it makes a conjunction right away with the dwarf planet Sedna, which has been sitting at 0 degrees Gemini since April 27. And I did a whole podcast episode on Sedna because it's so fascinating, both the dwarf planet itself and the mythology. And it has this 11,400 year orbit around the sun. It's this very elongated orbit, which means that it spends a very uneven time in each sign. And we've only known Sedna really in 1 year of that time. I mean, when you think of that many years, and we've only had recorded human history in like half a Sedna year. So we've only known Sedna in 6 signs, starting with Libra and now coming up to Gemini. So we don't know what Sedna is like in Gemini, but I did the episode because there's just so many coincidences and synchronicities that are adding up to a story that I think is so fascinating. And Pluto, of course, is involved, and Pluto just moving into Aquarius. So with the sun joining up with Sedna, entering Gemini, we're going to have kind of a shift. It might feel a little intense, actually, because we've been in this grounded Taurian energy for some time, and now it's getting shaken up a bit. And Mercury is more, more quick, a little bit more scattered. And I think that's the point. It's like it's going to try to tell us, what are you spending your energy on focusing around? Like, it's this perception measurement of energy instead of a time measurement of energy. So yeah, just when you think about all the things that vie for your attention, and sometimes we cannot process them consciously in our day, and so then they get pushed into our dreams. But that also takes energy as well. So I think there's going to be a really interesting maybe push for us to reconsider all of this information that comes at us, and the prioritization of that, and what we actually make a part of us, either because it gets into our subconscious or even unconscious, etc. So there's a lot. And then next Thursday will be a full moon in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, and we'll have, kind of a different energy going on there. And again, Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and Jupiter will have just kind of come off of this rendezvous with the sun. So more to come for next Friday. But in the meantime, if you want to go down the Sedna rabbit hole, listen to my latest podcast, which is Maria Luz's Conscious Curiosities. And I'm sure I will be talking more about Sedna. Other than that, I wish you a wonderful weekend, and enjoy your big Saturday Jupiter Sun Cazimi Fest.